Okay, this is the Algebra 1 lesson 1.7, the distributive property lesson. The objective here is to use the distributive property to simplify equations. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so here we have just a little summary of our distributive property. If you have a grouping, you can just distribute the A to both the B and the C, backwards, forwards, with a negative and without. So let's see how that works here. This 3 can be distributed to the x, that's 3 times x, and then plus 3 times 8. And then we can simplify that. 3 times x is 3x, plus 3 times 8 is 24. And then how it works with negatives, right? This one's going to be negative 7 times 5b, and then minus negative 7 times 4. And then this simplifies to negative 35b, and then minus negative 28, minus a negative becomes plus, so this becomes negative 35b plus 28. Okay, and then now we have 2 for you to try on your own. Press pause, and then check back for the solution. Okay, so here was pretty simple, just 5 times x, 5 times 7 is 35, and then here with the negatives, this becomes negative y times 2y, and that's negative 2y squared, right? Y times y is y squared. And then here, this y, negative y times 1 is negative y, times the negative becomes plus y. Okay, so moving on to problem 2. What sum or difference is equivalent to this fraction here? So when we see a fraction, you can, with an expression here, you can also think of this as this top as being grouped. I remember this can be a 1, and then this together here, 1 over 5, can be split out like 1/5. And then the 7x plus 2. So this actually becomes a distributive property problem. Okay, so try this, and that's all this was asking, what sum or difference. So this, oh, sorry, it's not all it's asking, right? This is not a sum or a difference. This is still a distributive property. Then we're going to finish it off with a distributive property. Sorry about that. 1/5 times 7x, and then our plus, and then 1/5 times 2. And then this becomes 7 over 5x, right? Because 1 times 7 is 7, and then over 5, and then pull out your x. And then this becomes, well, really, you can think about this as 7 over 1. 1 times 7 is 7. 5 times 1 is 5. And then this, if you think about 2 over 1, multiply these. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 1 is 5. So this becomes 7/5 x plus 2x, and that is a sum. Okay, so you're basically, when you have a fraction like this, you're basically distributing this fraction here to each one. Okay, so try that for this one. Press pause, and then check back for your solution. Okay, and then, so here is our solution here. You distribute this 1/8, and then 4 divided by 8 is 1/2, 2 divided by 8 is 1/4. Okay, moving on. When you have a negative sign in front of parentheses, that's equivalent to a negative 1. Remember, you just don't write the 1. So this is just a distributive property with a negative 1 here. And so you can distribute that negative to both. And it's basically just saying change the sign. So if this is positive 2y, we're going to get a negative 2y. And this is negative 3x, we're going to get a positive 3x. That's all that does. Okay, so try this next one on your own. Press pause, and then check back for your solution. Okay, and here, since this was positive and this was negative, we just change the sign. Now this one's negative, this one's positive. Because you distributed the negative, which just changes the sign. Okay, moving on to problem 5, and our last problem. It's a simplified form of each expression. This is just combining like terms. So here we have 8x squared and we have 2x squared. So together we have 10x squared. And the reason that's in the distributive property section is because what this you're basically doing to get this 10 is you're undistributing, right? You have 8 plus 2 x squared. So you basically took out this x squared on both. 8 plus 2 is 10. But I like to think of it as like you have 8 of this thing. So if these things match, here the thing is x squared, and they match, you have 8 of them, you add another 2, you have 10 of them. Okay, and then here we have, in B, we have to look and see what are like terms. So here we have an x and here we have an x. So these are two like terms. And then here's a constant and here's a constant. So those are the only two pairs that we can combine. So let's combine these two. Oops. This becomes, oh, I have 5 x's and I lose 3 of them. So I'm left with 2 x's, right? That's like 5 minus 3x. And then these two become, well, we have our 6y, let's not forget that. And then these two become negative 3 plus 4 is 1, so plus 1. And that is our simplified form, combining like terms. All right, try these next two on your own, press pause, and then check back for the solution. Okay, here's the solutions here. This is the thing for both of these, m and then 1m and 4 n's. 1m and 4 n's. Since these match exactly, that's the thing here. We have minus 7, minus 5 of them, and then so you get negative 12. And then on this next one, you can see how they combine. Okay, time for some practice. Enjoy.